Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Binge 4K, and I think we can all agree that the competitive matchmaking playlist needs a huge change. More on that after the intro. Hi guys, before we get too deep into this video, I would like to ask you all a very good question that you can answer in the comments below, and that question is, if you could add a new competitive playlist to competitive Halo Reach right now, what would it be and why? Also, make sure you drop a like on this video. It would be nice to get 20 of them. That's all I'm asking for with this very humble and small channel of mine. Now let's get on with the topic at hand. I am not a professional gamer, nor do I claim to be a professional gamer, because every time I played against one, I would always get pwned with a capital P. But this is where I must stress that competitive Halo should be competitive Halo, and competitive other games should be competitive other games. But Binge 4K, what on earth do you mean? I'll make this as simple as possible. I'm pretty sure that the competitive invasion playlist was introduced as a tool to try and attract players in from the Overwatch community. But of course, that is a bit of a stretch. In case you haven't played Overwatch, I'll go ahead and explain it to you in the simplest format that I can. Playing Overwatch is really not that much different from playing Reach Competitive Invasion right now. In Reach Competitive Invasion and in Overwatch, you are a team of 6 and you push towards an objective. The three main differences are as follows. In Halo Reach Competitive, you can pick up a weapon that's been dropped by an enemy or that spawns on the map. There are also segments where you must pick up the objective, and you can use vehicles. The thing about Overwatch is that once you spawn in as the character that you have selected, you cannot pick up another weapon, nor can you pilot vehicles. So both in Halo Reach Competitive Invasion as well as Overwatch, you have 12 players on the map, 6 versus 6. Each character has their own unique abilities. It's just that in Halo Reach, meleeing your enemy in the back will result in a one-hit kill, and you can also throw grenades. Now there are a few more differences that I don't think are really worth going over that deeply between Halo Reach and Overwatch. It's just that I feel like it's a method that's far too easy to bait Overwatch players into engaging with the game. We can talk more about that later, but let's talk about Team Hardcore first. Penance is just a map where you take everything to the back corner, if you will. The sniper rifle, the grenade launcher, the shotgun, if applicable in some situations, as well as the rocket launcher when it spawns. But the big issue is trying to get there when the enemy team has all of those weapons and they're using them against you. Now, if you're lucky, you and your teammates might be able to charge in and get 1 or 2 of them, but definitely not the entire team. So this is one of those maps where balance is an issue in situations where the enemy team gets all of the power weapons and then just groups up in the right position on the map. Honestly, if you are a solo queue player like I am when it comes to Team Hardcore, then one of the big issues is definitely communicating with your own teammates and trying to figure out where the enemy team is in particular positions. This problem becomes further exacerbated when we have players that are unable to fix their in-game audio to where they can communicate with their teammates. Where I live in particular, it feels as though maybe 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 of my games I will have teammates that are capable of communicating with me. I'm not sure if you guys have had similar results or similar success, similar failures. Let me know in the comments below how communication is working on your side of the planet. A lot of people are complaining that in the competitive playlist that we have for Halo MCC, we cannot pick or ban maps like we could in Halo Reach and Halo 3, respectively. Personally, I don't have any problems with playing MLG Capture the Flag on, say, the Pit. But Sword Base is a little bit crowded, a little bit too fast-paced, a little bit too wreck or get wrecked kind of feeling to it. And in general, Sword Base just feels like it doesn't get used to its fullest potential. I feel as though the map Zealot is acceptable. It takes an exceptional enemy team for you to feel like you're really getting face rolled. As an example, I was streaming earlier today and one of my viewers told me that the team that I was playing against was one of the top 4 Halo teams in Australia. The game basically ended with me and my teammates getting our faces completely rolled in less than 5 minutes time. On a scale of 1 to 10, if I had to describe how I feel about Team Hardcore, it would probably be a high 7 or a low 8. The experience is not god-awful, but it feels like there could be 1 or 2 better additions made to the map playlist as well as the game type playlist. Additionally, player populations in my region are not big enough to populate a fully domestic server in the country where I live. However, I'm sure all of the players that are living in North America and Europe are having a better experience than the rest of us living in Oceania as well as Southeast Asia. In conclusion, I'm not really a fan of two different scenarios or game types being in the Team Hardcore playlist. The first one is sword-based capture the flag, and the second one is penance for the reasons that I mentioned previously. However, I really don't have a much better solution to replace those two maps or scenarios with. So if you guys have an opinion and you'd like it to be heard, feel free to leave a comment on that. And for the time being, I would like to move on to, I guess you'd say, a much more broad sense of the Halo environment globally. I don't know how things are in your region, but I thought that when Halo Reach on the PC was launched, then we would see things begin to look up. And maybe I'm talking too soon. Maybe the environment will just grow with time. But I think the big problem is that 343 Studios and Microsoft are not really the kind of game developer that we can hold to par with other global esports titles. To make a long story short, I don't know how many of you who are watching this video have played CSGO or if you have played it from the first day of its launch. I did. And I can tell you that I remember the days when I had to wait 10 minutes to find a game in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. As time went on, I was surprised to see that even in my region, CSGO became a somewhat healthily nourished game, although the game publisher themselves, Valve, didn't really throw any money into marketing expenses domestically in the country where I live. Esports, professional gaming, these things are essentially marketing activities, and they take money to run, guys. I should probably just cut to the chase and inform you all that basically every country that you can think of has a professional CSGO team or a team that's capable of winning money at a tournament in their own region. And this is something that was grown by Valve organically without spending any of their own money to do it. So now the question that we have to ask ourselves is, are we going to see a similar approach coming for 343 Studios? Honestly, I wouldn't count on it. I can continue to ask them questions and receive their answers as they see appropriate to deliver them. But their community managers don't really feel like community managers. They feel like community loudspeakers, and they just answer questions instead of seeing what they can do for key opinion leaders in the space. And by key opinion leaders, I do of course mean big name YouTubers and Twitch streamers. At any rate, I feel like this would be a good spot to go ahead and end the video, and if you guys thought today's content was interesting or worthy of discussion, make sure you leave me with a like. Consider subscribing if you guys are genuinely interested in what I have to say. And also, if you guys are interested in interacting with me, feel free to leave a comment. I'll try and get back to whatever question or opinion you may have, as long as it is within reason. This is Binge 4K, out. Oh, and a quick spoiler alert, I didn't win this game.